Alright, we are live. Alright everyone, today we'll be doing Pokemon Yellow with Arcanine. It is Pokemon Yellow week. Oh yeah, Giovanni's gonna be bad for this thing. Today we're gonna be playing Arcanine. Yeah, it's really shocking this thing can't learn Dig. Yep, Water Onix too. Yeah, what we're gonna do for the first run, I'm probably just gonna look at the moves and that's it. We'll think of a general, like, in our head plan, but I think Generation 1 is just a lot harder to plan before you do it because you have badge boosts to take into account. So I think, just because Gen 1 are far shorter games, we'll probably do a second playthrough if our first playthrough is really bad. If our first Arcanine run gets like maybe one reset, then I'll leave it at that. But if it gets like 30 resets or something and it's easily avoidable, we'll do another run. It's not something extremely bad after all. Yeah, anyway, I hope you all had time to look over the stats in the move pool, because as you can see right here, it's not great. Look at that. Ember. Gross. I mean, Takedown is decent enough, I guess. It'll have to last us till Body Slam. I honestly think for Misty, with our 100 special, it might be potentially worth just using Bide on Misty. I don't know, maybe Takedown will be just fine, because our attacking stat is really good. It's 110, and we have 100 special. Honestly, we probably don't need Bide. Well, then again, Takedown does recoil. Maybe Takedown Staryu, then Bide the Starmie? That could be a thing. Wait, what are you talking about this thing can't learn Dig? Right there. It gets Dig. Gen 1. You might be mixing it up with Flareon. Flareon does not get Dig until Gen 3. Yeah, and this will probably be a run where we want to actually prioritize beating Blaine. I think it's entirely possible we fight Koga as our 5th gym leader, potentially go into Sylph to do training, then ignore the rival entirely, because beating the rival with Body Slam, Dig, and Ember is not going to be great, especially for that Cloyster. So I think we will have to backtrack to the rival with Fire Blast. So I'm thinking, do the training in Sylph, the good training, we'll fight Koga, then immediately go fight Blaine using Dig. But the thing is, how well will that work? I mean, I guess we'll just gotta play and find out. Alright, our crit rate is 18.55%. Alright, I guess I'll set an over-under. We'll get started. I will say, though, if we were playing something bad like Growlithe, I probably don't want to do 2 playthroughs with Growlithe. I will actually attempt to plan it. Dominic, I do agree with N1. Arcanine is not that great in this game. Ninetales is far superior. I mean, nowadays, I still think that... Okay, I guess we should take a look at our leaderboard for a comparison. Alright, if we take a look at the leaderboard, Nidoking is our first place run in Pokemon Yellow. There is no way it's going to beat that. What's another fire type we ran? Charmander, 104. Oh, we can definitely get a better time than 104 for sure. But to also be fair to Charmander, Charmander had access to Swords Dance. We are not going to have Swords Dance. And, Charizard also had Swords Dance. It's probably going to be in between. I think 55 to 58 will be a good over-under. Where's Nidoqueen? I think Nidoking was a random solo run stream. Maybe I should do Nidoqueen next time. I don't know. We're doing another random yellow solo run stream on Thursday, because Thursdays are going to be the random days. Okay. How do you get the surfing and balloon Pikachu in yellow? The balloon Pikachu, I'm not 100% sure, but the surfing Pikachu, you gotta transfer it from Stadium 1. I think you have to clear out the entire Challenge Cup, I think, with a Pikachu from yellow in your party. It has to be in your party, and then at the very end you can teach it Surf. It's quite awful, I know. But nowadays you can just teach Pikachu the Surf TM, so it's not really a thing you gotta worry about. Anyway, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, Magikarp. Man, if only Zealous Pawn will show up, because I know he likes yellow version. I also did not watch Scott's run, because I know Scott's original video was so long ago, I don't think it's worth watching. I think from now on, when I look at other people's videos to, like, think of a strategy, I think my general rule for it is, it's gotta be, like, within the last year. I'll accept 2 years ago, but anything older than that may as well not exist. Level 8 will be enough. Oh yeah, I don't think Brock's going to be that hard. I mean, Brock is essentially weak to special moves. We all know this. I think I'll just fight the bug catchers and that's it. Because we're still going to need experience for Misty for sure. Yeah, first you need to get a level 16 Diglett Growl, but 6 times on the escape rope trick, and the Shelder Swimmer, and last the Slowpoke. 2 of them might get to level 100. That's not exactly accurate. The Swimmer versus the youngster with the Slowpoke on Route 24, the one you have to fight to get the Mew to show up, it can be either one. You don't need to fight both. Even though I know people like Zealous Pawn and Scott will catch Doduo, I'm still on Team Pidgey. It's just because I have encounters on. Like, what if I naturally just encounter a Pidgey? I'm not gonna turn it away. But yeah, how the Mew glitch works, you basically have to open your menu on the same frame that a trainer is supposed to see you as soon as they load on screen. Then you escape or teleport. Then you have to fight either the Slowpoke trainer on Route 24 or the Shelder Swimmer in Misty's gym. Then after you fight them, you try to re-enter the route you originally tried to do the trick on. And then as soon as you close the menu, a Mew shows up. The reason Mew shows up is because the final Pokemon that those trainers have a special stat of 21, which is Mew's index number. Oh, there's Pidgey. Go away, Pidgey, I don't want you. My god, these encounters suck. The one advantage that I think Arcanine has over Ninetales is that Ninetales does not have that great a physical attack. Yeah, we'll definitely fight Rival 2 first. I agree with that. I was originally thinking of using Takedown, but I completely forgot we get Dig because somebody was telling me that we don't get Dig in this game. Okay, that was just kind of a waste of potions. And a waste of time. Yeah, you fight the trainer with the Slowpoke specifically to get Mew, because the Slowpoke has a special stat of 21. Because for some reason, what determines the encounter you get when you activate the Mew glitch is the special stat of the last Pokemon you faced. Wow, I really wasn't paying attention. Hey, Reiji. Okay, path to Route 3 is going to be nice and simple. Let's see. We can't learn Mega Punch or Water Gun, so we gotta skip those. Yep, Arcanine undefeated. Yeah, and then as soon as we enter Cerulean, we're gonna do Rival 2 right away. And thankfully, Rival 2 in Yellow is nowhere near as difficult as he is in Red and Blue. Rival 2 is definitely more difficult in Red and Blue, for sure. And then we'll clear out Nugget Bridge, and then we'll fight Misty with Dig. I thought Hisui and Arcanine looked cool, it's just its problem is Fire Rock is a terrible typing. I would honestly say it's just as bad as Rock Ground. I'm gonna fight this person. We are in the slow level up group. We're gonna need experience. Whoops. I remember a guy who got Chansey instead of fighting Butterfree. Yeah, it literally depends on the special stat of the last Pokemon you faced. Because the special stat actually determines what Pokemon you encounter, because it uses the special stat as an index number. So for example, if you fought a Pokemon with a special stat of 0, then the Pokemon that will be summoned is Victreebel, because... Or no, it'd be Rhydon. Rhydon is index number 0 in the game. Well, obviously, you can't normally fight something with a special stat of 0. So you can't really encounter that without fighting a Glitchmon. Alright, I'm gonna have to use some takedowns. I'm gonna save here just in case. I think I have done runs with the Galarian birds. I think I did them in Red and Blue as backports. Oh, I absolutely did. I remember making the sprite for Moltres. I like Galarian Moltres. Articuno and Zapdos, I'm not a fan of Galarian Zapdos, but Galarian Articuno I'm just not a fan of because it's not really one of the good Psychic types you want to use. I know my Arcanine has fainted, but in my opinion, I don't consider it cheating if your Pokemon faints in the overworld from poison, as long as you don't fight a trainer or encounter a wild Pokemon, because if you do, you're going to need to black out. Because technically you haven't entered a battle yet. I understand why some people wouldn't allow it, but I just don't think it's that big a deal. Technically the other time they were in a game is Let's Go. Unless you're one of those people that pretend Let's Go doesn't exist, which I am one of those people. I will say that was very risky. Alright, I know I'm not going to be able to keep Red Bar very long because the next trainer here has something with Quick Attack. So I'll use one potion. Alright. I mean, technically, Let's Go is Gen 7. But yeah, here's the problem with just starting out with Ember. It's still a very weak move. Like, I know Takedown will do more damage for sure. It could probably one-shot some of these things, but the problem is the recoil damage. Okay, I should go heal. It's just Pokemon Go, exactly. Hello, Charmander. I just Gen 1 missed Ember. I honestly never really cared about the Fossil Park. I actually forgot the place existed until you pointed it out, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, I noticed I kept dropping frames. So, since it's been happening multiple streams in a row, I think it was my computer's antennas, because I did have to rearrange all the cables in the back, and they're probably causing interference, but it seems like me moving them around fixed it. Okay. Now that's been fixed. Let's continue. Wait, get Dig first. Any Pokemon game where you have to pay for DLC should be snapped out of existence? Alright, so what's your option? Would you rather pay, like, say, $60 for a game, and then $30 for DLC, like, a year later? Or would you rather pay $60 for a game, and then a year later buy the exact same game with small changes for another $60? Like, tell me, what would you rather do? Like, the Ultra games, as much as I like them, they easily could have just been DLC for Sun and Moon. That's the reason a lot of people didn't like them. They were way too similar to Sun and Moon. I think the Ultra games is what killed third versions. Alright, let's fight Misty. I mean, Arcanine's got really good speed. I'm not too worried about it. Nice crit. Uh-oh. Wow. Okay, that didn't go great. Bubble Beam into a speed drop. Well, the speed drop didn't matter. I underspeed the Starmie. Nice. This is gonna take a few resets. Oh, you were worried about Arcanine's speed in the moment. Oh, okay. I kinda wonder if it's a good idea to use candies here. I mean, to be fair, I am not at full health. Alright, let's try that again. Yeah, even if I had healed, I think I just need luck here. Like, I just need luck to where It's not going for freaking bubble beams. Yeah, I don't really think there's a way you can make this fight more consistent, because no matter what, you're gonna have to two-shot Starmie with Dig. You just gotta hope it cooperates. Which it is definitely not. There we go. Hey, Santillo. Level 22 would be a speed tie? I would believe that, yeah. My god, I need to clear my throat. So yeah, potentially using the candies to guarantee the two-shot. I mean, maybe it's a guaranteed two-shot. I don't have the XP router open, so I can't check for sure. But as soon as the run's done, we can check. I'm going to just use takedown on these because there is no way Ember's going to one-shot. But yeah, I think using early rare candies for Misty is a little short-sighted. I mean, for some Pokemon it makes sense. I think if we weren't in the slow level up group, it'd be a good idea. Alright, so the question is, do we need rest? Since our move pool is pretty limited and we're weak to some things, I think we should get rest. Yeah, I'm gonna go get it. You wouldn't need candies? Well, I don't know about that. I could probably get away with skipping some. Honestly, here's a question. What do you guys think of getting Double Edge? Like, part of me is thinking it'd be a very great move to have, but on the other side of the coin, we already get Body Slam, and Dig is already 100 base power. So I really think there's no reason to get Double Edge, but if I do go into the hideout, I could at least get the rare candy. Oh, the candy's for Misty, right. Yeah, I think Leftovers is not a good idea. I think Double Edge is only good for Pokemon that don't get Body Slam. I know Zealous Pawn has used Double Edge in some runs he's done, where he knows for a fact there's a few fights where Body Slam misses the range. But obviously in a first playthrough, I'm not going to know that. I mean, Dominic, all 6 of the resets were caused by Misty. Perhaps you should get rest for recovered from Double Edge recoil. I mean, it could help with that too, but I just got it because I think I might need it for the league. I'm not going to teach it right now, though. Yes, I do want Squirtle. I want to fight Blaine before Rival 5. So I am going to get Squirtle. If I was going to fight Blaine after Rival 5, not before, I would just get the Lapras. The Squirtle being in the party is pretty annoying. You get Charizard for Fly. Where in the heck do you expect me to catch a Charizard? We don't need Bulbasaur for Cut and Strength. Squirtle learns Strength, and Charmander learns Cut. And besides, I think if we randomize the Pikachu, we literally cannot obtain Bulbasaur. I think it specifically has to be Pikachu. Dominic, I already did get the free Charmander. Alright, I'm not going to use a repel yet, because this trainer here has a Cubone, and he's kind of scary. Or he just misses, okay. The reason I didn't use my repel before fighting him is because if he gave me a reset, and I did reset, the repel actually goes away. It's a Generation 1 glitch. Repels always get wiped away when you save and reset. All of those growls lowered my speed to 1, which is pretty funny. How do you find the exit without flash? It is really not that hard. Really. Because look, you can actually see the ladders and the wall. It's just the only thing you really can't see is the trainers. If you're asking about Generation 2 Rock Tunnel, it's just a lot of practice. Goat, thanks. Whoops. That was a bit of a movement mistake. Alright, I'm gonna fight this guy because this guy gives very good XP yields. Vitamin of the day? Probably not Carbos. It's either calcium or protein. Probably calcium. Because our main attacking move is going to be Fire Blast, and our special is lower than our attack, so I think calcium. Plus, it'll help with Gyarados, too. Dude? So, I guess if I just Turbo A and go back and forth, I'll eventually get it. No, HP up is almost never a good vitamin. Oh, I will be getting PP ups for Fire Blast, trust me. Alright, I'm gonna get these to sell. Should have got that on my way up. Three calcium. Whoops. I'm not even going to save here. This rival fight is extremely pathetic. Did you notice I used Ember? That Fearow likes to use Mirror Move. If I were to use Body Slam on it, there's a chance it would Mirror Move Body Slam and paralyze me. There is a chance that happens. I think I've heard that from a certain stubborn guy who is addicted to resets. Are you talking about... What are you talking about? Calling me stubborn? I mean, I can be, yes. To be fair, like I said, in this run, these resets weren't really my fault. You really just need Misty to use 2 water guns. Hey, Jarrett, you never get DLC? I would understand that, yeah. It's not for everybody. I think it's only where if you enjoyed the game so much and you really want more content. But if you thought it was just okay and you don't want to continue playing it, then I would understand not. It's kind of like the equivalent if you bought Diamond and Pearl and then 2 years later Platinum comes out. You think, is it really worth buying another game? Something like that. Oh yeah, Misty is pretty scary. Hey, Nick. Alright, so I think first things first, I'm going to go through Cycling Road. I'm actually not gonna go into the Safari Zone. My levels are actually too low for the Safari Zone. I'm gonna end up getting a ton of encounters. But what I can do is actually just fight the good bikers. There are some bikers here that have really good XP yields. I'll fight them on the way down, and then I'll take one step into Fuchsia just to get it on the map, you know, so I can fly back to it later. Then I'll fly back to Celadon, fight Erica, and then go do Sylph. Yeah, the XP yields are good if you know who to fight. I mean, there's some trainers here that have, like Machokes and stuff, but I don't really find their XP yields to be as good, so I tend to skip them. You know what's funny, Dominic? Steve has told me he has seen the live action for One Piece. He's never seen the original One Piece, the anime. So he's not saying this on a nostalgic bias. He thought the live action was good. He does say, though, he's never seen the anime. The anime, though. Hey, John. Please don't make the Minecraft joke. Did you get here with flint and steel? I'm sorry. I mean, Nick, I remember you from the Stadium streams. I still kind of wonder if I should go into the rocket hideout and get the rare candy. A fire charge. Wow, true fan here. What are your thoughts on Arcanine Gen 1? Pretty underwhelming. Ninetales and Rapidash are way better. Better growth rates and better movesets. I know it's a stone evolution, but even if you were to count the original, like if you assume they get Flamethrower, I still think Ninetales and Rapidash are better. It's fine, Dominic. I'm usually asleep when he streams. He streams at like 1 in the morning for me. I know of J Rose, but I've never spoken to him. I don't think he would give a rat's ass on a small creator like me. I don't think he would care. I don't think John does solo runs in the Ultra games. He only does solo runs in regular Sun and Moon. I mean, I agree with him. Regular Sun and Moon are hard enough. Doing runs in the Ultra games is almost impossible, literally because of that Necrozma. Yeah, this guy here gives really good XP. You don't have to tell me what he did in the Arcanine run. I don't really watch J-Rose's runs at all for, like, ideas, because he plays these runs completely differently. Like, he doesn't make any attempt to, like, figure out, like, optimal ways of beating the game. He just does whatever he wants, and he has that whole rule where he bans saving in the league, which I think is very stupid. It makes him over-level way too much and play way too safely. If you did Zoroark, how would you handle Illusion? I have played Zoroark, actually. I played it in White 2. I have fully used it. Can't touch Hippowdon. You sure about that? It's got Psychic moves. That Ember didn't do as much as I thought. Hey, Perky Penguin. The legendary Pokemon. I'm sure this will be a legendary run. I don't think so. Alright, so I'm just going to defeat this trainer and then the scientist next to the Hyper Potion. Seriously. And then as soon as I finish defeating the scientist, I am going to escape out and go fight Koga. As legendary as Moltres. Yeah, and it wasn't really that legendary either. Jamie from Mythbusters. That's a new one. I think the reason they never gave Arcanine Flamethrower is because they wanted to give players an incentive to, like, keep their Arcanine as a Growlithe for a bit longer. Because if you choose to wait on evolving your Growlithe until, like, level 40, you'll have an Arcanine with Flamethrower. But honestly, I don't think Flamethrower would really help it too much. Like, I think it's just better for it to run Fire Blast. I mean, here's the thing I see a lot of Gen 1 solo runners not talk about. Flamethrower is a pretty underwhelming move. I think I can do the fight poisoned. I should be fine. I mean, I'm probably going to get poisoned during the fight anyway. Dude. Dang. if you allowed evolutions, would some runs be faster? No. I don't think so. If anything, it would have to be a stone evolution, but the thing is, whatever time save you could get from having a better move, the fully evolved Pokemon could just, you know, have better stats in the early game. Dude, 101 speed. Dude, I'm so close to outspeeding that thing. There we go. I think 2 rare candies here is worth it. Honestly, I think spamming Body Slam is going to be better. There we go. Do you know, the reason it's listed as a fire type is because in the game's code, single type Pokemon just have both of their type slots as the same type. It's reading directly from the game's code. I'm not one of those people that will get rid of one of them just to have only one of the typings up. I just think it looks off. Honestly, I think I should have done the Safari Zone first before I talked to Koga. I could have gotten an extra protein, Carbos, and that full restore. Alright, Squirtle needs Surf Taught. Dang it, I forgot to go get the Strength HM. Alright, we're gonna fight this guy. Psych the Fisherman. I don't think I need to fight the other trainers in the water. I think I can just skip them. Hey, MVF. Did I just seriously talk to that statue then immediately look left? That's funny. That's kind of a similar glitch to Swag Boulder. Oh hey, level 46 Raticate, go screw yourself. That's a 1% encounter, by the way. No more room for items, huh? I really should not have picked up that Hyper Potion. Alright, level 42. I'm also going to fight most of the... Oh, right, I forgot this is yellow. You have to intentionally answer the question first. Two runs today? I mean, seeing how this run's going, probably. Because I think Koga, I definitely made some mistakes. I should have used some candies before Koga in the first place to outspeed the Venomoth. But other than the 2 resets on Koga, 6 of the other resets were on Misty because you just have to get lucky. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean... I am honestly thinking it might be a good idea to use 2 candies before Misty to get 23. So that way you outspeed. But it will come at the cost of having 2 less candies. I did use 2 candies for Koga, So maybe if I use the candies earlier, it might help with the speed. Maybe. So yeah, I will do 2 runs. Tombstoner, brother. Elixir. Alright, so now we just gotta defeat Blaine. At least Tail Whip gave me a badge boost. Well, rip badge boost. Okay, ooh, nice. Reflect crit. Okay, that was literally Gen 1 Blaine behavior. It would annoy Steve, not me, though. I had to learn my way through the Seafoam Islands. Wait, no. Wait, dude, what the hell am I doing? Filth. Beach Fire Blast. In the place of Ember. Do I have 3 PP ups? I don't. Where am I missing a PP up? I guess the hideout, you know? I think I should have come in here for the hideout candy. Because I think most fire types, especially those in the slow group, are going to need this candy. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it. Plus there's a PP up in here as well. If I had done this first, I could have also picked up the double-edged TM and Horn Drill and another nugget. I could have just gotten myself more calcium. Or just get the rare candy and leave. I swore I had a max potion in here. Must have already used it. Okay, I am resetting that. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I still think it was the best decision to come here, because without Fire Blast, I do not see how he would have taken out the Cloister. Dude, Acerola's trial theme is really distracting me. Because it keeps going from like one side of the headphones to the other, and then both. Ugh. What do you mean, consider trying Minecraft? Do you seriously think I've never played Minecraft before? You know, fun fact, in the past, during my, my old, like, speedrunning career, there was actually a point I tried to do random seed speedruns of Minecraft Bedrock on Windows. I did do some runs for fun, but I never once completed a run. It just wasn't that interesting. Yep, Mimikyu tormenting me in yellow. Alright, we're gonna need Mimic. Oh, nice. I barely outspeed that Alakazam. Nice. I think I should probably teach Mimic right now. Yeah, I should. Because for fire types and electric types for Blaine, it's really a good idea to Mimic Double Team. Yeah, I don't have anything better. True. I did not expect that thing to live. Okay. I am out of PP. Awesome. Guard Spec Man. Okay. Guard Spec Man saves the day. I really should have just healed at the center. What the... Dude, my menuing sucks. My overworlding sucks today. Alright, I think I'm going to want to use my candies for Lorelei anyway. I don't have a setup move, so it's not like I care about badge boosts. I'm going to try using most of the candies. Let's go 55. That was very rude. I just stop in and I'm like, hey mom, bye mom. Yeah. Bruh. Yeah, that angle with Feed Me only happens the first time. Swift hit me underground because it's Gen 1. I think I should be able to easily get the under. I think it just depends on how nice Gyarados is to me. I think Lorelei is going to be pretty easy. We just have to defeat her Dewgong and her Cloyster. Dude, hate it when I do that. I should really wait until I'm above this boulder before activating Strength. Otherwise, that keeps happening. No, N1 was talking about, like, Red's mother in the house. Because I accidentally flew to the house first. Dude, there we go. I was just trying to do Swag Boulder, but my god, my overworlding sucks. Alright, let's do this. The trick is, this trick is very easy to do in yellow version. Just use Dig on turn 1. Dewgong will almost always go for rest. This trick isn't as likely to work in red and blue. It can still work, just has a less chance of working. Thankfully, due to the good AI, the Slowbro cannot use Amnesia. Bruh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Arcanine, you absolute embarrassing sack of shit. It's always very annoying having to take out that Onix with Dig. There we go. Alright, Agatha, though, should be pretty easy. Oh, if I'm lucky, I might be able to outspeed the Aerodactyl. It's peak bad. Yeah, it is. Oh, nice, I outspeed. That was perfect, actually. You know, I really think I should have actually gotten the Max Ether on the way to Victory Road, because it would have helped with Fire Blast. Alright, so I can survive one Hydro Pump, but I can't survive two. Yeah, Dominic, I am going to do a second run. Okay. Alright, and I think the correct strat here is Dig. Wow, okay, that did not do much at all. That's good. The thing is, I'm not going to be able to survive a turn for Ice Beam. That's the problem. I mean, John, Yellow Surge isn't a complete pushover, though. Like, if you're weak to electric moves, he's extremely difficult. What is the best course of action for this Gyarados? I'm going to experiment. What happens if I mimic Hyper Beam? Yeah, that won't work. I think the answer is just going to have to be either hope for a crit or for Body Slam Paralysis or Hydro Pump miss. You essentially just need the Gyarados to cooperate. Okay, crit, that works. Speed drop, you butthole. Followed by a Gen 1 miss. Don, that's kind of a dumb question. The hardest trainer is the champion. It's not even close. There we go. That's what we needed. Thankfully, that first Dragonair only has a 1 in 4 chance of going for Thunder Wave, so it's not too likely. Dude, level 58 with those Carboses was perfect. But yeah, this is just the thing that most fire types have to deal with. Alright, I think Body Slam for this fight's going to be useless, so I'm going to go ahead and teach Rest. Oh, that is not good. I mean, then again, I have rest. Okay, that's also doubly bad. You have an additional candy? True. That's a 12% full restore. Why is everything living in red health, dude? Okay, let's use the extra rare candy. I don't really have anything else good. Okay. Alright, yeah, we'll have to look at the ranges for that in post. That looks like it's a range. I mean, it is possible, like, instead of calcium, I should buy protein. Either that or do a second vitamin buy. Dude. Dominic, can you please stop talking about random stuff? You're actually starting to annoy me. Man, I really do not know a better way to beat that cloister. Oh, dude. The AI is not... Well, I think the AI had a 50-50 chance of going for quick attack. Damn. Yeah, the champion's rough for this thing. I mean, there is one other candy I didn't pick up, and that's the one in the power plant. Alright. Yeah, I think this thing does need a second vitamin buy. Alright, I'm just gonna go for one dig to do chip damage. Rest. Thankfully, because of the good AI, it will never go for Leech Seed. Which is probably the most... Whoops. Which is probably the most terrifying move that thing has. I have never played Coliseum before. I will play it once it gets added to GameCube NSO. Yeah, maybe buy an extra 2 carbos and 2 protein. That's what I'm thinking. Because it looks like both of these things are ranges. Nice, I hit him. Swift completely passes accuracy checks. Literally, there is no way of dodging Swift. Which I actually kind of like about it. So it looks like if I can, in the second run, get Arcanine to a point where I can have a very decent chance of one-shotting Sandslash and Alakazam, I can get to the Cloister at close to full health. And then I just have to hope Clamp doesn't hit me too many times. I feel that Rest over Mimic would have been the better play. So the alternative would have been keep Body Slam. How would Body Slam help? Rest is just here as a backup strat. Nice crit. There we go. I just Gen 1 missed. $59.56. I did split a second early, so $59.57. That was almost sub-hour, and I did not get the under. For execute? No. I only use a dig for chip damage because Fire Blast doesn't one-shot. I mean, to be also fair, Mimic didn't help for this fight at all. No, it really didn't. Sub 1 hour. True. But this can do a lot better. But seeing how bad this champion fight is, it makes me think using 2 candies for either Koga or Misty is a bad idea. Alright, let's look at ranges. Alright, here's the root file. So I'm gonna zoom in here. Alright, let's look at the ranges here. Fire Blast, 51% chance at level 60. Dig, 60% chance. Okay, those are not the best ranges. Fire Blast, 79 to 93. So I essentially need a Dig followed by a Fire Blast. Theoretically, the lowest roll Dig and lowest roll Fire Blast can let it live at like 1 HP. Magneton. Oh, dude, Magneton was an 85%, 89% chance and I never knew it. Cloyster. Yeah, Cloyster is never going to be a one-shot. But if we can get, like, the Sandslash and the Alakazam to be a decent chance, then we should have full health up until Cloyster. Honestly, if I can just get, like, a second vitamin buy-in, that would be that would be great. Alright, so I'm looking at the proteins here. There's only 2 proteins in the entire game, and I've used them both. And I have done a vitamin buy for calcium. Maybe if I pick up my calcium elsewhere, I could buy 3 protein instead. Mimic Thunderbolt would not help. It's only 190 versus 180. That is a strat I never thought of. I don't like stealing Thunderbolt because that Magneton loves using Thunder Wave. Alright, so I'm going to test something. I'm going to change the purchase 3 calcium to purchase protein. Alright, so if we change that, how would that affect things? I guess let's look at Koga. Yeah, at least Body Slam's a 97% chance on the second Venonat, but we can just use 2 Embers. And it looks like the best move for this thing is Dig. I don't think that's a good idea. I think the best move is Body Slam. It's a guaranteed 3-shot, and there's always the paralysis chance. Koga is just going to have to be luck dependent no matter what we do. I mean, theoretically, on the Magneton, if I get paralyzed, I could use Dig and hope for the 1 in 4 chance I get paralyzed underground and activate the Dig paralysis glitch, which makes me invulnerable to damage. However, though, it is very difficult to set that up on Magneton because it's got Swift, so even that strat wouldn't work. This strat is very broken, so I have a rule with it where I can only allow the trick during fights where I can actually get paralyzed. So on the champion fight, that would be the only way I could use the glitch, is set it up on the Magneton, which is really hard. Alright. Yeah, let's look at Fire Blast right here. If we mimic Double Team and This is our setup, right? Yeah. So if we use 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 double teams is probably not necessary, but if we do... Alright, so 3 double teams would allow us to one-shot the Nidoking. 5 lets us one-shot the Nidoqueen. But the thing is, without any setup, we don't have a way of killing that Doug trio. And it's going to go for either Dig or Earthquake. That's actually very annoying. And I don't think proteins would really help here. Or no, I bought proteins. Yeah, I think just on the Doug trio, I think the best course of action is probably... You could probably just go for Dig. I don't think Dig is actually the right answer, though, because the Doug trio may not dig underground, because it could go... Well, here's the other thing, though. I have seen Giovanni do this before. I can use Dig, he'll use Dig, and instead of me coming up, he'll use a guard spec underground, which allows him to hit me. I've actually had him do that to me before. He literally cheats with that thing. That's the risky thing about using Dig on that Doug trio. It's if he uses guard spec underground. Which I believe, from what I've been told, guard spec is I think it's a 25% chance he replaces his move with a guard spec. Due to the good AI, he'll only use Dig or Earthquake. I think it's probably better to just go for a Body Slam, and if he uses Dig, I'll use my own Dig. And then that way he'll resurface, and even if he uses a guard spec, I'll still hit him. Let's see, Fire Blast. One shot, Fire Blast. Fire Blast. Oh, nice, look at that. Fire Blast, still a guaranteed one-shot. Dude, this whole team is a series of one-shots. Alright, so let's see how well replacing proteins with calcium does against... Okay, Hiker here. I think the thing that really sucked for me was literally being out of Fire Blasts. Look at this, his first 4 Pokemon are all one-shots with it, even the Onix. I only had 3 Fire Blasts going into this, but I was low on elixirs. I think what I should have done was pick up the Max Ether on my way to Victory Road, and I could have used it here. Alright, Gyarados. There's no way to make this better. You literally just need the Gyarados to cooperate. Either Body Slam Paralysis, missing Hydro Pump, or me getting a crit. But a crit won't kill. A regular Body Slam followed by a crit could. It's a 32% chance of happening. And I can survive 1 Hydro Pump, but not 2. But then on this Dragonair right here, at the very best, it can do like 26% damage. But the thing is, Bubble Beam does up to 20%. I essentially need to get lucky on the Gyarados, and then defeat the first Dragonair, and then mimic Ice Beam. And then if I mimic Ice Beam... Oh. %, that is not great. I think that was from missing the calcium. I 100% think the calcium is to blame for that. Let's take a look. Alright, I'm going to test something. Let's purchase 3 calcium and use the 3 calcium. So if we go back to calcium, it goes from an 18% chance to an 18% chance. Okay, literally the calciums didn't do anything. Maybe we do need rest. Honestly, you're probably right. Because look at this. He can't do much damage with the first Dragonair, so I think rest over... Well, the thing is, we can't teach over Body Slam. Honestly, I think the answer might have to be replacing Dig, but I don't think that's going to be a good idea. But we can't replace Body Slam either. Well, wait, we're not using Mimic for the champion, are we? Oh, wait, no, but we're using it for this fight. I literally don't see a way we can have rest. Let's look at the rival fight. I'm going to give us the... well, I'm going to keep the purchase calcium in there for now. Oh, yeah, 51% chance. Dig. If we get rid of the whole, like, teaching rest, and we still add Body Slam, Body Slam would be great on Exeggutor, but that's literally it. Yeah, we don't need Mimic for this fight at all. I mean, could we? We can't. We could. No, replace... It would not be a good idea to get rid of Body Slam, because... Well, it would not be a good idea to get rid of Dig, because it's our best move for the Alakazam. Unless we were to, like, teach Double Edge in its place. You know what? What if, for Lance right here, we replace Dig with Rest, and then on the champion, we'll replace Body Slam with Double Edge. Let's give that a try. Alright, so I need to move this up. Alright, Dig, Fire Blast. Alright, I'm going to see what this would look like. So before Lance, replace Dig. Okay. Alright, I'm going to add a TMHM here. Learn Double Edge over Body Slam. Alright, so we would go into this fight with Rest, Fire Blast, Double Edge, and Mimic. We would Fire Blast this. Double Edge would have the same chance of KOing as Dig. And that doesn't give the chance for... Well, no, it doesn't have Reflect. Magneton becoming a 2-hit. It would become a 2-hit. That's the problem. You know what? Oh, yeah, we are... Would it be possible to... Hold on, I'm going to add in a second Vitamin Buy. I think I would do the second Vitamin Buy probably after Blaine. Alright, I'm going to add an event. We already have the 3 calcium, so I'm going to go ahead and let's assume we buy 3 calcium and 2 protein. Yeah, doing a second trip and buying 5 vitamins. Would that make any difference with Lance? It does make his Aerodactyl slightly more likely, but that's about it. Okay, Fire Blast turns into a 63% chance. Okay. Double Edge turns into a 70% chance. But the question is... Here's a question. Can we survive 1 Earthquake and 1 Double Edge recoil? That's the question, because I think it might be worth mimicking Earthquake turn 1, and then let's assume we lose 60% of our health. And we get the Double Edge to one-shot, but Alakazam has 143 HP. And it'll be half the damage. So, wait, is Double Edge half the damage in recoil? I'm pretty sure, right? I'm gonna double check. Oh, it's a quarter, actually. Wait, a third? No, it's a fourth. Alright, so Double Edge would do 35 damage in recoil. So if I bring this back up, how much would Earthquake do at the, let's see, 122 to 144? Let's just assume it does the max. 28. So if it's a max roll Earthquake, we will not survive Double Edge recoil. Because the Double Edge recoil, as I've mentioned, is 35 damage. I'm going to bring up another calculator. And our Arcanine is 213 HP. Wait a minute. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on. 213 HP. Let's assume maximum damage. 144 damage. We'll have 69 health remaining. Then Double Edge would leave us at... how much? 34 damage. So we'll get to the Exeggutor in red bar, then we can use rest. Honestly, I think this has to be it. And then Earthquake will have a 93% chance. Literally the lowest roll would leave it at 2 HP. That's very unlikely. But yeah, we'll need to make sure on the Exeggutor we rest up enough to where we get a bunch of our health back. Because look at the Cloyster. 73 to 86. We just have to hope for it to take it easy on us. Because see, one use of Clamp is 19 to 23%. But obviously, if you give it enough hits, it's just going to murder us. I really hate, though, the fact we would need Double Edge for this fight, because it kind of forces us to use rest. But the Exeggutor is pretty easy to rest on, so I'm not too worried. Okay, so yeah, I think getting to the champion at level 60 is still appropriate. But here's the thing. I think if I grab... not the power plant... okay, here's what I'm going to do. In this next run, I'm going to use the 2 rare candies before Misty. And probably do some extra trainers. Actually, I think we'd be able to test that in the router. So, let's assume before Misty... let's assume we used 2 candies before Misty. 2 candies would let us outspeed, but then to make up for it... where's Koga? I used 2 candies before Koga, so let's cancel that out. What level will we be for the champion? Oh, nice. We'll still be level 60. So if we use the 2 candies before Misty instead of before Koga, we'll still be the exact same level. That's good. So yeah, we can move the candies early with no consequences. That's good. Alright, well, let's get started then. I'm going to go ahead and make a new route. Alright, let's start a new poll. I still think under 55 is probably the best we can hope for it, so I'm going to make the over-under 55 to 57. Alright, I'd say let's get started with run 2. 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, in terms of trainers that I fight... Actually, wait. I know we'll still be level 60 by the end of the game, but the question is, will I still arrive at Koga being able to outspeed? Well, I guess if I'm not, I can just fight some of his trainers. But yeah, at some point... Probably after I do Pokemon Tower or something, I can just pick up the Nugget and the HP up that are in there to sell, as well as the Nugget in the Underground. I need to do a second Vitamin Buy later in the run and get 3 Calcium and 2 Protein. Dang, level 6 Pidgey. I'm gonna need this potion for later. Ooh, Metapod. Yes, please. Oh, nice. Level 6 Pidgey. Okay. I was a bit concerned about that. Why does Yellow have 2 catching tutorials? What are you talking about? There's only 1 catching tutorial. Oh my god. Yeah, never mind. That would have been such good experience if I could have killed that thing. Thankfully, since Diglett doesn't have much HP, the recoil wasn't that bad. And here's a fun fact. Since Brock has 5 full heals per Pokemon, if he burns and uses a full heal, you notice on the right side he has 4 attack. The attack doesn't get recovered. That was a pretty good Brock split. Alright, thing is 12 Embers going to be enough to get to Mount Moon? I think so. Alright, we're good. I don't need to use any healing items. I'll just heal at Mount Moon. Yeah, I can always use takedown if necessary. I'm going to try and use it a bit more. You know what? If I could potentially fight the super nerd, I could probably not need 2 rare candies for Misty, but I think I'm still going to skip that guy. I mean, to be fair, in the last run, I fought the grass trainer, but I think the grass trainer is just better to fight. Hey, Paris. Bye, Paris. I just realized the theme for the ultimate weapon being fired in X and Y, I can hear parts of it being remixed into the Hyper Rogue Angie Floette theme. I just noticed it. Yeah, that trainer's only good if you have Leer Peck or Wing Attack, yeah. Is the stream just that far behind for people? Uh-oh. Stop it. Clutch. And takedown is so good for this section. I don't know, I'm seeing the rocket making assumptions. What do you mean making assumptions? I just read that message, so I guess just, how many seconds was that from you typing it to me actually noticing it? Because I could have swore I had it set to low latency. Whoops. Your internet's been atrocious. Oh, I'm just gonna assume that. Hey, John, I don't know if you're still here, but have you been playing my, ROM hack yet? How did you evolve so early? Oh, I'm doing this, playthrough starting out fully evolved as an Arcanine. You may think it's completely, overpowered, and to some extent it is, but the main problem is that Arcanine by itself does not get access to Flamethrower, so if I want a more powerful fire move, I gotta wait until Fire Blast. I can always do the run with starting as a Growlithe and just never evolving. I'll do that at some point. But this is a solo run with Arcanine. Not with Growlithe into Arcanine, just plain old Arcanine. Alright, gotta go get myself Dig. Oh man, I have not yet. Sorry, I've just been busy. Okay. I mean, the slow growth rate applies to Growlithe as well. Alright, I'm gonna need Dig. Isn't a mod? Oh, I used something called the Universal Pokemon Randomizer. It's what people would use to play like Randomizer Nuzlocke, but you can just edit the starter and leave everything else alone. But yeah, just look up Universal Pokemon Randomizer. Perfect. Level 23. This allows the outspeed on the Starmie, guaranteed 2-shot. I think it still needs to cooperate though. But this should heavily increase my chances. Yeah, no problem. The Universal Pokemon Randomizer works with most generations as well, so if you wanted to do, like, Fire Red or something, there you go. Yeah, solo run challenges are pretty fun. The whole basic rule of them is, you can only use your starter and no items in battle. That's like the raw minimum rules that anyone who does these challenges follow. Some people have their own, like, niche rules, like no using double team or no buying vitamins, stuff like that. But that's like the bare minimum. Gen 6 isn't a problem with it. It works for Gen 6. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I forgot to mention this to you guys. This is a very minor change to the overlay. Look at the bottom left where my stats are, and in the bottom right where the opponent's stats are. Look in the light blue square, the teal square. You see how that's my special? It used to just say special SPA, like, because it meant special attack, but I was too lazy to fix it. I finally fixed it, so now instead of just saying special attack, it says special. It changes the Kanto stars as well. I mean, that's true, but I think most people aren't going to really care about that. I mean, you kind of have to fill up your whole party anyway. I mean, what I do in X and Y is I just use PK Hex to just add the starter to my party, which is a bit more work, but you don't have to do that. On that note, how come you choose to play such a nostalgic game? I actually play a lot of different games. I play a grand total of 13 games. Let's see. I play Red, Yellow, Crystal, Sapphire, Leaf Green, Emerald, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Black, White 2, X, Omega Ruby, and Moon. I think that was 13. Yeah, just this week I'm doing Pokemon Yellow. Last week I did Pokemon Black. And next week is going to be Platinum. It's pretty... You're all caught up pretty much. Yeah, Moon is as far as I'll go, though. I will not play Gen 8 in the future, John. I can 100% assure you I am not. It's one of my lesser favorite gens, anyway. I mean, N1... I don't really want to count that. I meant more specifically for solo run challenges. Why not past Moon? Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are way too difficult. As Sun and Moon, regular Sun and Moon is already difficult enough. It's already the most difficult game I play. And, I just have no interest in doing runs on the Switch titles. That's effectively the reasoning. But yeah, pretty much every week I'll do a video and usually 2 live streams. I'll be doing another yellow live stream on Thursday. It'll be with a random Pokemon. I'm going to let a random Pokemon generator website tell me what the Pokemon is. And then this coming Friday will be a Ninetales video. Which is why I'm running Arcanine. I generally like to do one video and one stream as like a pair, like Arcanine and Ninetales. And then on Thursday, it'll be something random. Could be Nidoqueen, it could be Rattata. Plus, I'm just playing the game on 4 times speed to make it faster, too. Because no one's interested in seeing me do this on 1 time speed. But yeah, if you like seeing, like, content from all sorts of games, you'll definitely like this channel for sure. Like, most channels usually stick to, like, a couple of different games. But I think my channel has the most amount of variety when it comes to Pokemon content. Like, Scott's Thoughts, for example, he's another YouTuber that does these kinds of videos. He's a far bigger channel than I am. He does 6 games. He used to do 7, but he just finished his Pokemon Yellow Pokedex. He actually did run one of every Pokemon in Yellow, so he quit playing it. So he does 6, I do 13. So I definitely have the biggest variety. Like and subscribe, wish you luck, thank you. Hope to see you in a future stream. Or not. I appreciate it either way. Oh yeah, if it's Ditto or Abra or Magikarp, something that's obviously impossible, I'll skip it. I'll re-roll. It gets the most views. The later gen, the worse his views. That's generally the pattern for most people. Although, I think besides his Gen 1 content, I think the gen that gets the most views for him, it would probably have to be Crystal. It just kind of sucks, though, sometimes that most of the views end up going to, like, Gen 1 or Gen 2, the older games. The runs, the videos and playthroughs in the newer-ish games are just so much more interesting, but not as many people are interested in them, sadly. My all-time favorite is Reshiram. Oh yeah, speaking of Abra, I still need to redo my Abra playthrough in Red version, because I ended up quitting my playthrough like after 2 hours. I'll do it next time I do Pokemon Red. Gen 3 is your favorite in terms of looks? Absolute hard disagree with that. Some of the Generation 3 front sprites do not look that great. Like Beautyfly. Beautyflies look terrible. You mean the overworld? Still a hard disagree. If we're only talking about the DS era, you know, with the sprites and everything, I'd say the generation with the best overworld, I'm sorry, it's Gen 5. I know that's one of the more controversial picks, but I'm sorry. I think the sprites in Heart Gold Soul Silver look better, but the overworld, I still think Black and White looks better. I mean, John, you're a Gen 5 hater. I don't want to hear it. Okay, 3 calcium like before. Okay, walking or having your Pokemon follow you around, I do like that feature a lot. I'm not saying Heart Gold in the overworld looks terrible. Like, I never said that. I actually got my Heart Gold version. It was a hand-me-down for my older sister. Same thing, John. I like the Gen 5 sprite movement more than the 3DS era models. I agree with you on the 3DS models, but in terms of like modern day, I think the 3D models from Scarlet and Violet and ZA are absolute top tier. Like, it took them a while to actually make them look incredible, but I think the Generation 9 era of models look really good. But before that, I would agree Gen 5 looks better. One thing I'll say, though, is other games tried to copy the whole follow mechanic. I know the newer games, like Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, ZA, Legends Arceus, they all have the option, but it definitely feels more realistic, but it just didn't have that same charm. But BDSP, they should not have implemented that following mechanic. It was so bad. Like, I thought BDSP were decent games, but that follow mechanic was garbage. Like, in my first playthrough, after seeing how bad it was, I just turned it off. Because the scaling was just so bad. I can forgive the bad following mechanics, because Pokemon's following mechanics have generally been very bad through most of the games. But it was the scaling. It made Dialga look way too freaking small, and it made Pokemon like Ekans way too big. I mean, I get they can't be completely accurate, because otherwise, like, Wailord would take half the screen. But still, make it look a little better. I wish I had older siblings. Yeah, my older siblings grew out of that stuff when they graduated from high school. I'm sure Onyx looks funny. Alright, so anyway, I need to go in here, get the PP up, Nugget, Double Edge, and the other Nugget, and Horn Drill. Why am I using Dig on those things? Yeah, the games that I got hand-me-downed were Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Platinum, and then Diamond and Pearl. I mean, the games were split between me and my brother. I didn't get all of those titles, but those were the hand-me-downs. The first ever Pokemon game I actually owned was Pokemon White. I technically got the hand-me-downs and White, like, close to the same time. I don't truly remember which game I played first, so I just tell people my first game was White. Even though technically it could have been Heart Gold, it could have been Platinum, could have been Fire Red, I legitimately don't know. Like, it's just been too long, I can't remember. How old was I? Probably 7 or 8. Because I know my older siblings graduated in 2011, or no, 2012 and 2013. So I got the hand-me-downs, like, probably a year before they graduated, so... Let's see, that would have been 2011? I'm going to assume 2011, because that's when Black and White came out. You know what? I think I got the hand-me-downs first. I'm going to assume 2010. So let's just say 8. Let's just say 8 years old. It makes people cringe at your young age. I know that. I know a lot of people get cringed when they find out just how quote-unquote old I really am, and the fact that I've been running this channel almost 8 years. Let's Go had the best follow mechanic. As much as I hate the Let's Go games, I have to agree with you on that. That's like the one thing they got right. Plus, like, running around on the back of a Snorlax was definitely a pretty funny sight. I'm 23. When most other people in my field are at least in their 30s. I think 3/4 of my chat are older than I am. Alright, I think I need to just sell my items right now. Because I want to pick up more stuff in Sylph. Yeah. I'm not going to do the second vitamin buy yet. It's just, I needed to get rid of some stuff. Could I just teach Double Edge now? No. Don't teach it now. I need to save it for the champion. Well, it's not just Gen 1 to Gen 2 viewers in general. Even if I'm playing, like, Gen 6, or Gen 5, or Gen 7. Like, just on average, I can look at my viewer demographics. I think it's like 55% are 20... I think it's like 70% are 25 to 35, and the rest of it are older than 35. I think I might have a small viewer that's under 20 percentage that's under 25. Oh, dude, I saw how Ekans moves in BDSP. I've never seen how Ekans moves before. Oh my god. I think BDSP had great potential, but with the way some of those features were implemented, oh my god, it was so unbelievably bad. The any % speedrun was really funny. Well, John, I think in general, a bunch of my viewers tend to watch, like, any Pokemon game I do. At least with the live streams. With the videos, I'm not 100% sure. I got Gen 6 at 18 years. You know what's funny? For Gen 6, I actually got Omega Ruby during Christmas of 2014. So I was 12 years old at the time. I got Oras before X and Y. I think I got X and Y a year later. So Oras was my introduction to Mega Evolution. And fun fact, Oras was my first time playing Hoenn. Because, surprisingly enough, my older siblings never handed down Ruby, Sapphire, or Emerald. Because I guess they didn't have them. I think my oldest sister did, but she moved out when I was very young. And I think she's still into Pokemon to this day. Yeah, I had no experience with the Hoenn games until 2014. Like, I knew of the Hoenn region, but I had no idea what it was like. All I knew is that it had a giant volcano. That was all I knew. I do have a sort of unpopular opinion with Gen 3. This is just Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. I think Ruby, Sapphire, or specifically Emerald, I think Emerald is one of the most overrated Pokemon games. Like, so many people act like it's one of the best Pokemon games of all time, but it's just a very mediocre game. The games just have too much bloat, the level scaling isn't that great. A lot of the new Pokemon they were introduced, I just flat out didn't like. The only Pokemon I liked were the pseudo-legendaries, like Salamence, Metagross, Melodic, stuff like that. But like all the Cacturns and the Shiftries and the Ludicolo's and the Mightyenas. I wasn't much of a fan of their designs, and their stats were so bad. Like, you would not believe how bad some of the stats were in that game. Like, for example, what's that one Pokemon? Tropius, you know, the Pokemon with a banana around its neck. That Pokemon, it looks like a monster, right? It doesn't have a single base stat over 100. Its base stat is comparable to, like, middle evolution starters. Like, a lot of the... Yeah, the Hoenn special. I just personally believe Oras is the best version of Hoenn, but I know a lot of people disagree with me on that. A lot of people say it's Emerald. Fair to be honest, I think it's considered that great due to the visual jump. I think that's what it was. I think it's a nostalgic reason, because of the graphical difference from Gen 2 to Gen 3. Yeah, if you played the newer then went back to it. Yeah, plus I didn't have the nostalgic bias. That's why Grovyle kicked Tropius' ass. I did a solo run with Tropius in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. It might have been Emerald, I'm not sure. It was one of those two games. It was so horrendously bad. That Pokemon is just awful. Even on a team, it's awful. The thing has nothing good going for it. Alright, so unfortunately, I'm not going to have the speed to outspeed the Venomoth. I think that was because I used the early candies, so I think what I'm going to do is fight these trainers first. 101, okay. Yeah, it was part of one of the random solo run streams. Oh my god, I hate this theme. I will admit, when Scott had those thumbnails of the Ludicolo in the background, those were pretty funny. Alright, question. Can I get level 41 before the Venomoth? Because if I can get 41, I will outspeed, because right now I speed tie it. I mean, as a kid, like, the main animes that I watched was the early Black and White era, the early X and Y era, and the first 3/4 of Sun and Moon. Oh, dude. Pretty much when Pokemon moved to Netflix was when I quit watching. Well, it wasn't on purpose. It was just whatever played on the TV at the time. You get it, don't you? Besides, there were other shows I watched as a kid. I did have some Pokemon DVDs of, like, some of the movies from, like, the Gen 4 and Gen 5 era. And some older ones. And later, as a teenager, I actually was at my grandmother's house one time. She had Netflix. Over 2 weeks, I binged the entire Indigo season. I was in her theater room for like 5.5 hours a day on average. Because I knew I wasn't going to be over there much longer. You hated the black and white anime? Really? To be fair, I haven't watched many episodes of it. Alright, let's go do that second vitamin by now. Do I watch other anime? No, I do not. I'm not a huge anime fan. I haven't even watched the new, like, Pokemon seasons, or the whole Horizons or Journeys. I never watched any of that. I thought about it, but I went against it. Okay, so I needed 2 protein, 3 calcium. Dude, my bag is freaking full. One more protein, why not? I just wish they were... What's the right word? They should have done what Pokemon Origins did. And, like, every new region just introduced new characters. Kind of like what the Pokemon manga... the Pokemon Adventures manga did. Like, every region, they would introduce new characters, too. Like, I think if the anime was more like the manga, I think I would have liked it a lot more. Like, I get Ash is iconic, but it did get old. Although I will say from time to time, I would watch those videos of, like, the old Ash being an absolute savage to people. Like, to Misty especially. Those are freaking funny. Oh my god, level 46 Raticate, go away. It actually really shocked me when the new Pokemon Horizons anime actually had the main characters aged by like 3 years. Or however long it was. Like 2 years? I don't know how much they aged, but they actually did do some slight aging. I was actually surprised they did that. Journeys had some dark episodes. Is that Journeys? That was the final one with Ash and that weird guy, right? It was like Ash's final season. Like, I've thought of watching that, but no, I just don't want to. Yeah, again, the Raticate. Yeah, the level 46 Raticate in the basement is a 1% spawn. I remember during Scott's Mew race, for the entire 2 weeks, I never once encountered it. And I just encountered it twice in one day. That's just awesome. Okay, I think I'm going to save those digs. I'm just going to use Body Slam the rest of the way. I mean, from what I've heard from people, the new Horizons anime is actually really good. I've heard a lot of people say it's great. I just can't really bring myself to watch it. Not that I think it's bad or anything, I just have a hard time watching anime. A few are better than Crystal? I'd say a few, yeah. I mean, the back sprites not so much. The back sprites have stayed the same since Red and Green. That's not even a joke. Hey, at least Ember's giving me badge boosts. Or Tail Whip's giving me badge boosts. Rip the badge boosts. Uh-oh. Okay, we're good. Make room for this gift. Shut up. Alright, at least I can finally teach Fire Blast and use my PP ups. You guys really shouldn't give me anime recommendations because I'm going to watch none of them. I think they just didn't fix the back sprites because they were just lazy on it. I don't know, it doesn't make sense because they fixed the front sprites multiple times. Maybe it's because they thought people cared more about the front than the back. Because the back sprites are hard to make look good. Because you only get 32 by 32 pixels, while the front sprites can go up to 56 by 56. So I think they wanted to prioritize the front sprites. I don't know, whenever I do my backports, the backports, I kind of have an exception for that, or I'm the opposite. I actually try to put more focus into the back sprites instead of the front sprites, but that's because I should not have done that. But that's because most of the run you only see the back sprite. But I try to put equal focus into both. Dude, Pokemon Origins was incredible. I actually hated the fact that it was only 4 episodes long. Like, in between episodes, they skipped so much content. Like, I was just thinking, if the entire anime was like that, like, it showed, like, the actual players you got to play in-game, and maybe you don't need to follow, like, a one-for-one adaptation to the games, but at least, like, make it loosely based off the games. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of this Lapras, because it's gonna mess up my muscle memory. I like how I still have Leer on my moveset. Oh, I am going to want to teach Mimic in its place. Why that nugget? To fill up my bag space. I don't even think it really worked, though. I was trying to fill up my bag space to where I don't end up receiving a TM, but I really need to put my bag item counter on the overlay somewhere. Because bag space can only go up to 20 slots, and knowing how full I am is actually going to be very useful, but I really need to put it on the overlay somewhere. Generations. Oh, dude, Generations was awesome. Whoops, oh shoot, I forgot to teach Mimic. Surely I'll be fine, right? Yeah, I think I'm dead. You go to college? I do not know. Oh, that's just bad. Well, that was my major mistake of the run. Not only did I forget to teach Mimic, I also forgot to save. Yeah, I did forget to save. It was an accident. Alright, I think 3 double teams is all I need. Oh my god. Dude, seriously? Double teams suck sometimes. Leveling up after the Nidoqueen doesn't matter. Like, the thing is, just quit hitting me with moves, man. Wait, I don't level up after the Nidoqueen? What are you talking about? What are you guys talking about? I never leveled up during this fight. You leveled up at the blackout. That didn't really matter, to be fair. I forgot to teach Mimic. There was no way I was going to win that fight anyway. Because of the blackout, you gain an extra level. Okay, yeah, I get it. I don't think it's going to help me get an extra level, though. Actually, hold on. What level did I candy to for Lorelei? I don't think it matters. I just need a minimum of 60 for the champion. Alright, I'm gonna get the max ether. I did not candy to 48. Man, my bag management's really bad. If I can just get that bag item counter to be on my overlay, it would actually help a lot. Use your candies at 48. Oh, okay, I get it. Hey, Genti, you want to see a trick? Swag boulder. If you hit the boulder, like, right as the dust cloud appears and quickly flick up, you can get the dirt cloud to appear away from the boulder. It's easy to do on 1x speed, but very difficult to do on 4x speed. I think I can try to replicate it again here. Three times, nice. No, I don't need the extra candy. Alright, candies, candy. Kinda gives life to the game. Do you think the badge boosts help Giovanni? They do help a Giovanni, yes. It allows the Nidos to be more consistent one-shots. Because if I can get 5 badge boosts to my special stat, the Nidos are guaranteed one-shots to Fire Blast. You've got to be kidding. Seriously? Well, that didn't go great. The blackout was worth it? It's wasted a lot of time. Oh, okay. Thank you for doing that. Dude, every time, dude. Every single time I get to that Lapras with 3 amnesias, it always has to crit a Hydro Pump. Not in this run specifically, but just in general. Whenever I get to that thing at maxed out amnesias, it will just get off a crit Hydro Pump no matter what. Yeah, they're thick for sure. Oh, dude, seriously? I just got a crit from the slowest Pokemon in the game. That Slowbro has like a 5% chance of critting anything. And she actually got a crit. That is... My luck with Lorelei is actually pretty bad. And I don't know why all of a sudden Cloyster isn't a one-shot to Fire Blast. I wonder what the range is. Crit. Okay, dude. There we go. That should not have been that hard. Did you change? I didn't change the vitamin buy. I did an extra vitamin buy. Okay, so Fire Blast will one-shot his first 4 Pokemon, and then 2-shot the Machamp. Yeah, my first buy, I did 3 Calcium. The second buy, I did 3 Calcium and 3 Protein. I literally bought a grand total of 6 Calcium. Because I was barely missing ranges. Alright, so after Agatha here, I need to replace Dig. Yeah, replace Dig with Rest. 58 would have worked better? Probably. Honestly, I kind of... Wait. Do you guys know if in the first run I was level 58 for Lorelei? Because I swore I never had problems with it. It was weird. If anything, I thought I was a higher level this time. I was 56. Did I? I think I'll look at the ranges later. Okay, rest. Here it is. Alright, we're replacing Dig with Rest. We'll look at the ranges and the XP router at the end of this run. Alright, Gyarados, will you cooperate? I guess not. So, I was a higher level then. I wonder if I was just getting ridiculously unlucky with ranges. It might have just been luck. Alright. Rest. Yeah, that Aerodactyl is very unlikely to die. That Aerodactyl's like a 20-something% chance to die to Ice Beam. I essentially need to crit it to kill it. But hey, at least I killed it, finally. Very freaking close, though. Okay, Double Edge. Double Edge in the place of Body Slam. How was my special lower in the first run? That makes no sense. Okay, so the plan is Mimic Earthquake. This Fire Blast should be like a 60-something%. Okay. Great start. The plan is to Mimic Earthquake, survive the Earthquake, hit Fire Blast, and then Double Edge on the Alakazam. Wait a minute. I can just Earthquake the Alakazam. I forgot to Mimic. Great. That's embarrassing. Surely Magneton won't use Thunder Wave, right? Okay, John. That legitimately makes no sense. How was my special lower at the higher level? I literally bought extra calcium. Yeah, John, that that full restore was a 12% chance, by the way. But yeah, I messed up that fight anyway. John, I don't believe you. Dang, missed the range. That's fine. I got rest for the Exeggutor. Dude, I wanted to go to sleep on my own terms. Great. Yeah, John, there you go. I knew for a fact that was not correct. It would literally make no sense for me to be a higher level in more calciums and still have a lower special, unless my DVs were wrong. Dude, there's actually a chance I might not beat my first run, because this champion is not cooperating here. There we go. Alright, I think from here we're mostly good. The reason I say mostly good is because we still need the Cloyster to cooperate. Nice. Yeah, Earthquake. I don't want to risk it. Okay. 5806. A minute and 50 seconds faster than the first run. That was definitely a lot better of a run for sure. I did have that mistake with the blackout, but most of the resets were honestly kind of luck dependent. But I need to look at the ranges on Cloyster. Like, I think I was getting really unlucky on that Cloyster. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. Yeah, make sure you come around on Thursday. We'll be doing a random Pokemon. Could be Growlithe. Could be Pidgey. Who knows? What would you do to make it better? Let's just look at the router. I'm going to go ahead and save this route. Okay, so I'm going to look back at Lorelei. What was my 44%? Wow. That was not great. Okay, if I had gotten the Victory Road candy, it would have been a 61% chance. So honestly, the Victory Road candy might have been a good idea. Dude, 44%, that is not great. But to be fair, that's literally the best I could hope for. But yeah, let's look at this fight right here. Hold on. Yep, my stats were perfect. I'm just making sure I'm not crazy. I must have gotten very lucky, which is why I was able to get sub-hour. Okay, look, 63% chance, and mimicking Earthquake, 70.7% chance. Honestly, Double Edge really wasn't that great here. It really wasn't. It wasn't as helpful as I thought. Because, well, the thing is, the reason I have to mimic Earthquake is because I didn't have Dig. So, if I had done this with Fire Blast and... Well, the thing is, I had to get rid of Dig, so... I had no choice but to do this because of how tight the moveset is at Lance. Like, for Lance, I need all 4 of these moves. I can't hold on to Dig, so that was kind of the reason I had to do this. Yeah, buying the extra calcium in that second trip brought this from a 51 to a 63% chance. And the extra protein brought this to a 70% chance. And then I would just rest up on the Exeggutor, knock it out, then Earthquake. And the Cloyster just has to cooperate here. There's just nothing you can do about it. You would have to really overlevel to make it consistent. But Arcanine being in the slow level up group and preventing levels really holds it back bad. But anyway, let's go ahead and rank this on the leaderboard. Let's go ahead and add our information. Hey, Pokemon Monroe. I haven't seen you in chat in a while. How you doing? What would an extra level at the Cloyster do? Let's just look. It brings it from a 73 to 86. It would literally do nothing. Okay, I will say Double Edge was not necessary for the champion fight. You are right. I still needed to mimic Earthquake, so I could have just kept Body Slam. Yeah, I could have just kept Body Slam. Getting Double Edge and teaching it was unnecessary. Anyway. I was level 61, 12 resets, with a real time of 0:58:06, game time of 3 hours and 26 minutes. Second playthrough. Alright, Arcanine, right here. 13th place. It did do a lot worse than Charizard, but it did do better than Charmander. That is kind of where I thought it would go. It ended up being in the middle of Golduck here. Honestly, that Golduck needs a re-rank at some point, because I know Golduck could easily get a run with 0 resets. So I guess if I ever decide to do a re-rank, Golduck may be up there for a run I should re-rank, but I'm not in any rush to do that. But anyway, thank you all for stopping by, everyone. I do appreciate it. The next solo run stream will be Thursday, where I'll be doing Pokemon Yellow with a random species. But the next actual stream will be tomorrow. I'm going to be getting into Legends ZA speedruns for the long term. I do want to learn any percent and then do catch 'em all. But I'm going to start off by doing a smaller category called the Rogue Mega Rush, where you have to defeat all of the Rogue Mega Pokemon in a row with limited healing. It's kind of like Pokemon's version of the True Arena from the Kirby games, where you gotta fight all the bosses back to back with limited tomatoes. Boys, is the solution? It is not the solution. But, yeah, I will see you all either then, or